Alright, so we all know that M. Night Shyamalan can definitely make some wild movies. Old, in his new thriller for 2021, is no different. The trailers were vague, showing people aging at an extremely rapid pace with seemingly no context to how it was happening. However, with the movie out and reviews in, it's time to take a look at Old, what it's all about. Warning though, if you haven't seen Old yet, there are going to be spoilers ahead. Old is an adaptation of the book Sandcastle, something that M. Night Shyamalan took on as a project after receiving the book as a Father's Day gift. The project itself was announced in 2019 and it finally made its debut to theaters in June of 2021. And since then it's received mixed reviews. Some praised the film for its cinematography, the concept being captivating, while others were less impressed with the acting, as well as the screenplay itself. The twist ending is the part that definitely has left people unsure of how they actually feel about the movie. However, what we're really going to dig into today is what the film is all about. It seems that the plot synopsis itself and the trailers that we got to enjoy before the movie finally made its way to the big screen. The film starts out with Guy and Priska Kappa, a couple that's heading straight for divorce. They decide that they're going to take their two young children, Maddox and Trent, on a final family vacation before splitting up. Arriving at the hotel, the couple is given complimentary drinks and the children get to meet the resort manager's nephew, Idlib. While the children play with their new friend, we're left with them overhearing their parents arguing back and forth, trying to distract themselves from what's happening nearby. The following morning is when things really start to take a turn. The small family is invited by the resort manager to a secluded island, an offering of a getaway for the fracturing family. Arriving there, we're introduced to the other players in this film. First, we've got rapper Midsize Sedan, who brings along a female companion. Then there's Surgeon Charles, his wife Crystal, their daughter Cara, and Charles's mother Agnes. There's also Jaron and Patricia Carmichael, a tight-knit couple that find themselves among this group. Everything seems to kick off pretty quickly at this point as the game of hide-and-seek ensues with the children. This leads Trent to discovering the body of the companion to Midsize Sedan. When he is treated with suspicion for the death of the woman and asked about what's happened, he admits to struggling with nosebleeds since arriving at this oasis, admitting to the others that he does struggle with hemophilia, although it's a little odd that it would be causing him issues out of the blue. Things start to take a turn for the worse when Agnes suddenly dies, having been rapidly aging without anyone realizing. It seems that the acceleration of her age and dying so quickly within a very short time of being on the island is enough to push the families together to try and figure out what's going on. While it might be confusing, they do determine that there is something happening on this private beach. It's causing them all to age far faster than they should. The worst part, they age 1 year every 30 minutes, something that's going to end up spelling serious disaster before the movie comes to an end. Not only is aging an issue, each family has a member that has an underlying health issue. Midsize Sedan is the perfect example with his hemophilia. Any attempts at leaving result in them blacking out, and so they're left with no escape. As the events unfold, we get to see Midsize Sedan heal quickly after he's cut with the switchblade knife by Charles in a fit of rage. Then Priska develops a stomach tumor, which Charles successfully removes there on the beach. Midsize finds his companion totally decomposed in a matter of hours. It becomes hit after hit of strange events that they're struggling to keep up with since they aren't entirely sure what's causing this to happen to them in the first place. These startling events continue until hours later when the children have reached adulthood. A maturing relationship between Cara and Trent leads to Cara giving birth. However, the island is quick to kill this baby in a matter of hours due to whatever power it holds over these families as they fight to survive what's happening. Chaos is definitely real in this movie while the group struggles to find a way off the island. Trent and Maddox manage to find a notebook of a previous traveler that documented their own trials on the island, including feeling washed. This drives tension among the group, as does Charles' worsening schizophrenia, an episode leading him to kill Midsize. If you're curious, it's not getting any better from here. The families barely make it through the night. Cara is killed falling from a cliff. Charles ends up dead after attacking Guy and is slashed with a rusty knife by Priska, causing a fatal infection to occur and take him out in a matter of minutes. Crystal, who's revealed to have hypoglycemia, dies when her bones rupture inside of her. Patricia suffers a fatal epileptic seizure. Guy and Priska finally end up dying moments apart after making quite amends after all the terrible tragedy that has occurred around them. That brings us down to Maddox and Trent, who are now middle-aged. They return to with the notebook and are able to eventually find a way off the island. However, this is where we get down to the twist that has everyone torn. From the resort, it's seen that they are indeed being watched. Not only are they being watched, but this basically ends up being a giant medical experiment. The scientists at the resort are aware of the island and its powers and use it as a means of speeding up human trials on new medications. These trials, which could take months or years originally, are suddenly able to be done in a single day. It's revealed that the medications are being given by spiking drinks of guests before sending them out onto the island. Everything happening totally against their will. They start to conclude that the experiment is finished, assuming that everyone is dead since they had not seen Trent and Maddox escape from the island. There is clear greed as motive here, especially since they acknowledge that people dying is the end of the experiment. Expecting this to happen as it's been happening, the island with its power and the medication that's being tested at a hyper fast rate is not a great mix. After they conclude the experiment, we see them moving to lure in more people, only for Trent and Maddox to finally show up, very much alive. With that notebook as evidence of what had happened to them and to others, once they have made themselves known, the two quickly get the police involved, and the ones behind these horrific experiments are arrested for what they've been doing. This all ends with Trent and Maddox heading home to live with their aunt. There is no certainty about their future because of what has happened to them on the island. There is no doubt that the feeling of the movie is rather abrupt and has left a lot of critics and moviegoers alike feeling rather put off by it. It seems as if this thriller could have taken a lot of other turns. However, they chose to go with medical testing rather than any other potentially amazing option that goes with an island that has the power to age people to a point of death in a matter of hours. However, it's got to be known that despite the divide over the ending and different aspects of the movies overall, Old is doing well for itself. It's got a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes with around 313 critic reviews and a 53% when it comes to audience reviews. The audience reviews, I gotta point out, are over 1,000. Overall, that isn't bad, especially considering how much of a hit and miss movies have been for the last 2 years. It's also easy to point out that this is an M. Night Shyamalan movie, and while he does some really great work, it's not everyone's cup of tea. So maybe after getting some serious insight on the story, you should check it out for yourself. You might find yourself a new favorite thriller flick that you can't help but keep watching over and over again. For now, that's all we've got. Thank you guys for watching, and leave a comment down below to let us know what you think of Old. Is it worth watching, or do you think it's one to pass up on? See you guys in the next video. Have a great day.